Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Today, I have to visit William, and I just have to say his volume is a little bit weird. It goes up and down. So if this is off, I'm blaming him. Okay? But I figured it was time for us to visit Daddy William today. I need my toxic boyfriend role play for the moment. I'm just kidding. I will never forget the comment that somebody said. I will never forget that. That comment lives in my mind forever. It's one of my Roman Empire moments. But anyways, I want to go ahead and react to William. I like to check up on William. He doesn't post as much. You know, he's been very neglectful, super neglectful. But we're going to go ahead and respond to this. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I lost weight and I'm afraid people are going to criticize me for it. You can't even lose weight anymore. Not sure that's entirely true. Why would they do that? Because
there's a lot of reasons why people would do that. Okay. I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to let this play through.
It's a cancelable offense to lose weight these days. We both know that that's a bit much. No one should be commenting on your weight changes, no matter what. Even if I lost weight, your weight and the way it changes should be your business and off limits for anyone to comment on. Sure, even I can tell I'm being a little ridiculous, but what if people actually do criticize me for losing weight? Look, unless you're suddenly positioning yourself as a weight loss success story and perpetuating anti-fat rhetoric, encouraging other people to try to lose weight, and God forbid profiting off of it or trying to build a platform off of it, you're fine. Why do you think this happens? Well, quite frankly, a lot of people who lose weight and gain unearned privilege in our anti-fat society start to do those things because they start to feel morally superior, like they worked hard and they earned something, and now they should get to perpetuate these anti-fat ideas. But there are also people who lose weight and gain that privilege, and they feel really insecure about it because they realize that they were not valued in the same way that they are now, and they are able to recognize how unfair that is. That makes sense. My body really is only my business, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. As long as you treat your weight and your body as your business and no one else's, it is truly just your business. No one should ever be commenting on your weight changes or your weight in general. I lost weight.
Oh man, that was long-winded. Okay. All right, let's break it down piece by piece. I can assure you, William, if this was a conversation with me, not another version of you, it would be very different. Okay? Extremely different. So what I will say here, I lost weight and I'm afraid people are going to criticize me for it. It could happen, you know, but you have to not care that much about it because people will criticize you for literally any decision you make. That's a reality of life, and weight loss is a decision. It is a choice. I just have to say it just because I know it's like a vicious dagger in William's heart. And I don't know, you guys, he really brings out the witch in me. There was no way I was going to be able to watch William without this hat on. I will tell you that much. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what I will say is, in my experience, what I've gotten for weight loss so far, it has been more so, I call it soft cancellation. So what is a soft cancellation? It has to do with, there are moments when people are upset with you for no reason, or they project something upon you for no reason. Even if you haven't changed at all, they perceive what you're doing differently because you look different. And this is incredibly subjective. This is why a lot of people would not suggest losing weight publicly. I understand that. Trust me, I get it every day. But at the same time, if you can do it, I think it helps. I would never tell somebody they have to, but if you are a problematic girly pop / boily pop / brat / whatever and you don't care, then do it. Okay? Because it can help. If you're sensitive, if you're people pleaser, if you're all these things, I don't suggest it because your health is the most important thing. And I understood that going into this activism that this would be a part of it. But in my experience, it has been mostly soft. So I haven't had a lot of outright criticism for it. That may come later. But I think a lot of times people have there can be a little bit more of a paranoia about it. But remember that there can be paranoia in weight loss because your hormones are all weird sometimes in weight loss. So if it's not that, then you could be paranoid about something else. Okay? It's very common, especially if you have very high visceral fat and you're super morbidly obese and all these different things. You're going to feel those effects more because that visceral fat is more hormonally active. Okay? So you have to understand, it's like, is it the people? Is it me? Is it an interaction? Most of the time it's an interaction. You may just be sensitive while losing weight too, but not always. And definitely let me know your guys' stories below if you have any.
I'm afraid people are gonna criticize me for it. You can't even lose weight anymore. Not sure that's entirely true. Why would they do that? Because it's a cancelable offense to lose weight these days. We both know that.
It depends on if your entire brand is built around it. I think you can be canceled, quote unquote, canceled for pretty much anything if you go against your brand. So like if I were to all of a sudden become a fat acceptance person on this channel and just say, you know what, guys, I was wrong, I'm gaining all the weight back, I think you guys would unsubscribe. I think there would be some kind of an issue. That being said, obviously going from being a fat acceptance influencer to somebody who's losing weight and speaking truth about obesity is so much more positive for the person. And we have to remember that content creators are not just basically pack mule robots. They are still a human being, and their health should come first. Still, it's up to the person to put their health first. And so obviously that is a good thing, but there is definitely cancellation that goes on in that. 100%. 100%.
That's a bit much.
It's not a bit much within certain contexts, but there can be issues of sabotage, of jealousy. There can be a lot of things that go on within weight loss that are social, that are real. Like I said, I think if you're currently trying to lose weight, especially if it isn't publicly, you might be a little bit exaggerated depending on the type of person that you are. So you just have to be aware of that because it might not be super obvious. It might be less obvious. That being said, you can still adjust with time and it's fine, but it is weird. I still blame fat acceptance for creating, at least at this point, they create such a powerful social hierarchical position around these issues, and they create such a sense of status around weight that they're often the cause of these pressures and of these jealous reactions, because in reality, weight loss should not instill jealousy. Why? Because everybody pretty much can lose weight. There's a very, very few select cases where it usually would involve swelling or maybe something like lipedema or a medication that makes you gain weight in a certain context. But I don't necessarily think that most of those people in those contexts are the ones seething in jealousy. It's typically the ones that have toxic ritualistic behaviors that are constantly comparing themselves to other people. Those are the ones that are going to be the most jealous, and they are within their power to lose the weight. And I know it really pisses them off to hear that, but there shouldn't be any jealousy for the people who are jealous because it's not legitimate.
No one should be commenting on your weight changes, no matter what. Even if I lost weight, your weight and the way it changes should be your business and off limits for anyone to comment on. Sure, even I can tell I'm being a little ridiculous, but
I would say that people will always comment on other people's bodies. I think it's obviously better to do this with grace. People can be really nasty about it or very sharp about it, but it will happen. And I understand that for some people it can be triggering, but it is reality. It's never going to stop because it is something that human beings do and will forever do. So it's better for you to deal with the triggers and get a bit more resilient and not internalize things so much and not try to desensitize the issue as much as you can, because it will always come up. So when I hear him say this is a complete like fantasy scenario where this is not going to be talked about. Like something like that would require constant reinforcement and constant even punishment to actually be a thing, because it goes so much against human nature. So it's never going to happen. You'd have to have an absolute dictatorship to stop people from commenting on people's bodies. That will never change.
what if people actually do criticize me for losing weight? Look, unless you're suddenly positioning yourself as a weight loss success story and
Ooh, heaven forbid.
perpetuating anti-fat rhetoric, encouraging
Meaning anti-fat acceptance rhetoric. So like this channel, he'd be so upset. I'm sorry, Daddy William, but I'm brat. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to you. Ooh. You know, it doesn't matter. I may have a more femme voice than you, but I'm not listening to you. You're not going to like that, are you? No, they never do. They never do.
other people to try to lose weight and, God forbid, profiting off of it or trying to build a platform off of it, you're fine.
So I'm fine if I have your permission. Man that I don't know, that I don't respect, that I don't want anything to do with. A man who is trying to lead me and others like me down a path of destruction, even if it is inadvertently, which I don't even necessarily agree with, because to me, you come across as an absolute snake of a person. Just saying. But sure, William.
Why do you think this happens? Well, quite frankly, a lot of people who lose weight and gain unearned privilege in our anti-fat society start to do those things because they start to feel morally superior.
And do you feel morally superior, William? Is that a projection? Do you feel that way? Look, I'm not here to judge who feels morally superior to whoever. Everybody feels that way sometimes. It's just a part of the human condition. What pisses me off about this is he is probably one of the most self-righteous, even the tone, everything is self-righteous in this person. And he's going to sit there and say that only one side of this is self-righteous. You got me fucked up. Don't even. Now, as far as me, I don't really talk about it as much in the context of a moral issue. That argument can be made. There are plenty of religious commentators that will make that argument. There are even political commentators that will make those arguments for different reasons. You know, whether it's something, I don't know. It can be for any reason, but it's like there are people who will say you should get your weight together to, you know, help your relationship with God. There are people who say you should do it to take less pressure off of like a national health care system, something like that. There are moral arguments about it. I tend to stay away from that because it gets a little too, political and religious more than I'm comfortable for this topic, because it just becomes a distraction. But I don't judge people for having those conversations about weight. I do think that there are moral arguments about it. I just don't typically go there for me on this channel, because I try to just really be solution oriented and just try to get to the absolute heart of the issue. This channel, I'm not really ever, at least at this point, it could change. I'm not really trying to get somebody to want to lose weight on this channel. I'm more so trying to help encourage people who are wanting to lose weight, because most people do that are fat, and they're trying to find solutions. And that's what I orient this channel towards, is just solutions. I'm not going to say you're a good or bad person about it. Again, to me, that's too body hierarchical. I don't agree with the body hierarchy. I don't really go there. All I say on the channel is, yeah, it looks good to be in shape, but it's better to be in shape health-wise, and that's more important. Other than that, aesthetics are kind of subjective. They're person to person, and it is what it is. People can play that up, or they can play it down, or they can do whatever the hell they want with it. It doesn't really have anything to do with weight necessarily. Not really. I mean, it can. But at this current point, and where I've been most of my channels, since I've been doing anti-fat acceptance activism, gosh, that is a freaking, wow, that is a long name, damn. Ever since I've been doing that, I've been coming at it more from a health angle, but that's because that's where I'm at. I may come at it from an aesthetic angle, but that would be later. That'd be probably around next year, maybe a year from now, something like that. So I'm trying to show the whole spectrum and an entire journey of the whole thing on this channel. But what I will say is, health is a major, major thing. And until you're not obese, your health is being damaged by obesity. And if it's morbid, it's even worse. If it's super morbid, it's even worse. It matters. And so I think him trying to frame this as a moral issue, the only real moral issue that I see is you should not give up your health and vitality just to make someone like William feel better. That's how I see it. Just to make other people feel better. Who cares if they criticize you? A criticism is not going to hurt you in the same way that obesity is going to hurt you. And I know that people don't always like to hear this, but resilience is a major thing, not just in this issue, but in life, because we can try our hardest to try to control and police what everyone around us says, but ultimately there's always going to be people that slip through the cracks, and you're still going to have to be resilient. And so it's better to just kind of get used to it. Them's the breaks. You'd get criticized for staying big too. It's a lateral move. That's what I would say. You're going to be criticized no matter what. So do what's right for you. If that makes any sense. Do what's right in terms of your values. In terms of your health even. Just do what's right. Let's keep it objective. Do what's right for your health, because no matter what goals you have, no matter what beliefs you have, you're going to be better off if you're at a healthy weight. You're going to be more likely to accomplish things. You're going to have this so-called privilege, which it isn't a privilege to have a normal weight. It's normal. You're not marginalized when you're fat. You're being held down, because I can assure you, then people get criticized too. It is just a matter of fact. But yes, it's worse for really fat people because it makes it a nightmare to do anything in life, regardless of if anyone else is around or not. I think it's really important to frame it this way and to stop pushing the narrative that it's completely social. It's all a social issue. There are social issues of fatness, but I can assure you, as somebody who stared the end of the road, stared into the eye of Sauron, your social issues are nothing compared to the physical. What's coming is nothing. When you're in it, if you can avoid supermorbid obesity, avoid it. It's very difficult to get out. But I showed you guys you can. I did the best I could, and I will show it because I try to push hope. You don't push hope, William. You push hopelessness, demoralization, gaslighting. That's what you push. And I'm not falling for it. And I will fight the likes of you because I don't want other people to fall for it either. No way.
Like they worked hard and they earned something, and now they should get to perpetuate these anti-fat ideas.
I really appreciate all of the comments and stuff and the support that you guys give. I really, honestly, truly do. But for me, I don't feel all the time about like I earn this or I earn that. I just feel like I worked very hard to get out of a hole that I was in. And I'm relieved. I'm happy. And even socially, it has helped me get along with people better. And I'm relieved. And I'm happy. And if that's what you're saying this privilege is, then okay, I guess. I don't really care. I do not care. What? Was it better if I'm fighting with everybody, or better that I'm so ill I can't even be who I really am? Doesn't make any sense.
Ideas. But there are also people who lose weight and gain that privilege, and they feel really insecure about it.
And he's happy with that because he's miserable and he doesn't want anyone else to be happy. I'm just going to say it. Miserable person. And I don't judge you for being miserable, William. I don't. I've been miserable so much. Supermorbid obesity is miserable. You want to know misery? Oh my gosh. It is miserable. It really is. Even morbid obesity, it was miserable. I'm just now in obesity getting to a point where I'm not absolutely miserable. But I don't wish that on others because someone else's pain doesn't make me feel better. Someone else's misery doesn't uplift me. And I don't think it really uplifts you either. But as they say, misery loves company. And I feel like you're a great example of that. Because I feel like that's what these videos are trying to accomplish.
Because they realized that they were not valued in the same way that they are now. And they are able to recognize how unfair that is.
This is a Pennywise moment. The balloon is coming in. You know what I will say? There are a lot of people that still struggle with toxic ritualistic mindsets post-weight loss, and he's trying to fuck with your head. That's what he's doing. And for those of you guys who don't know, I did post a video specifically about toxic ritualistic behaviors and mindsets, and I made the metaphor of Pennywise the clown. and the letter E followed by the letter D, especially the one where you eat too much. So please check that out. It may not have hit your algorithm, but that was a Pennywise moment. The red balloon is coming in. He's trying to enforce. He still has his issues, and he's trying to project and enforce it. And especially somebody who's lost weight, he's trying to get you to relapse. That's evil. And I don't know if that's intentional, but that's what that statement is. Because there are a lot of people that lose weight that feel that way, and they hate it, and it drives them insane. And to try to light fire under, to try to pour gasoline on that fire is very cruel, in my opinion. I don't think you should feel bad. If you've lost weight, you need to let that go. That's my opinion.
And they feel really insecure about it because they realize that they were not valued in the same way that they are now.
Value. Toxic ritualistic. The balloon. Oh my gosh. No. This is obsession with physical form. Obsession. That's toxic. No. No, we don't think that way. You don't think of that. You don't think that way. Period. Period.
Now, and they are able to recognize how unfair that is. That makes sense. My body really
No, it doesn't make sense.
Only my business, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. As long as you treat your weight and your body as your business and no one else's, it is truly just your business. No one should ever be commenting on your weight changes or your weight in general.
He is a classic case of a person that doesn't want you to be able to speak on something, but he wants to be able to speak on something. Horrible. Sorry, but I'm not listening to you, William. I'm not sure that upsets you. Anyways, you guys, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, night, etc. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.